And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, into another In the Driver's Seat, brought to you by YSN. DJ Oakley on this side of the table. On the other side, we got the Boomhauer Bandit, the number 43 YSN car. It's Corey Renforth, and a special guest. It's Darryll Hoon Jr., also known as
the Rocket Man.
The Rocket Man. Earned that new title, and we'll get into some of the stories with Darryll Hoon Jr. in just a moment. But as we do every time to open up the show, the Boomhauer Bandit, Mr. Renforth, how did last night go?
Yeah, it went well. There was a blind squirrel found a nut again.
Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't have to steal second place this time. I kind of earned it. The first time I got second place this year, I started second. It does feel a little more like accomplished when you start like ninth and go up to second. Like, doesn't just feel like, you know, when you start second, everybody's like, yeah, it was a good starting spot, you know. But when you got to work your way up, it was pretty nice. Everybody's like, oh, you're getting better.
So you started ninth. How many cars total last night?
17.
All right. So you started about midway through the pack.
Yeah. It just, I mean, it would have been a good night to start up front with my pill draw. I probably could have, and that might have been trouble for some folks out there because that thing was going good. Driver still sucks. We just need a good driver.
No, you look good last night.
We need a good driver.
So did the car drive you, or did you drive the car last night?
Doing something. It was fun. I think we got together, me and the car last night. That was finally, we were in sync.
A little kumbaya.
Yeah.
With the car. I got a chance to watch a little bit of it. Zach was shooting it, and Zach. Shout out to him because he was all over it. He was tagging both of us. Like my wife saw it on Facebook. She's like, somebody said you're at a racetrack right now. I was like, I'm not. In fact, I am not. I am here.
Clearly.
But it was really cool to see because I mean it's one of those things like you have, like, I feel now that I've seen it, I've got to see it in person. Like I've got to check it out next week and you know, see it in person. Although I got to admit, like seeing all the dirt fly, I'm not wearing anything real nice.
Yeah, I don't think it's a suit and tie affair.
No black ties.
No, I mean you could.
The ball gowns.
It'd be like that Step Brothers scene. Like, well, now the suits make sense.
Is this ketchup?
Yeah,
and onion.
Yeah, now the suits make sense. You guys are a bunch of dipshits.
So talk to me about. I mean, you started ninth. What was working for you last night? You were a lot of cautions. That's the one thing I.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic of that class. We're usually pretty good at keeping those down, but it just, I don't know. Everybody has off days, I guess, and I don't know. It just kind of the right people spun out. Chase Nichols was on one. If he made a decision to go for first place, it just didn't work out for him. He ended up spinning. If he hadn't, I'd have been third because I think he had it going on there. I mean, that kid's good. He's always good. Whole family races, so they're all good. His dad's real good, and you know, they just know what they're doing. And Steve Mix, of course, I have invited him. I told him we got to put a face to the name of the person I keep talking about whooping my ass every week. He beats me like a rented mule. So, but yeah, he's out front. Chase was really giving him all he could handle. You know, he's really pushing him hard, and Chase pushing himself hard too. So it was good that he spun out. I hate to see it, but you know, it helped me get second place. But you know, but there was no harm. He didn't like wreck his car or nothing. So
he was close.
Yeah. So
he was close.
So I mean, as long as the car's in one piece and it gets me a spot, thank you.
Exactly. I mean, that's one of those things where you wind up in second. Now, you said you were 2 car lengths away from making your first ever championship.
And that would have been a good one to win because there's a trophy, because that was a mid-season championship.
Oh,
yeah, it would have been a nice one to be like, this moron that doesn't win crap takes home a trophy because he just happened to have a good car.
I don't even care about the money. I just want the trophy.
Yeah,
big race Boomhauer.
Give me a trophy. Like, I'll just put it on the front of my truck every time. I'll bolt that bitch to the hood. It's like a hood ornament. Like Ford's gonna be like, "Hey man, you damaged this hood up." I'm like, "I don't care. It's worth it.
I'll pay for it."
Yeah, turn that lease in, whatever.
Oh my!
You know what's in that hood? Victory. That's what's in that hood.
Champions.
Yeah, y'all give me my trophy back. By the way, y'all don't get to keep that.
So second place finish last night. Who got the first place finish? Steve?
Steve Mix.
All right. So when you talk about Steve, I mean, he's a guy that's constantly out there and consistently winning.
Yeah.
What does he do that you want to emulate at some point, this season or early next season?
Wins a lot. They just
smooth.
Yeah.
Consistently smooth.
They're a racing family again, and they all know what they're doing. And like I said, he's in tune with that car as soon as he puts them seatbelts on. He knows it. He's been driving it for God knows how long. I'm sure he'll tell us. But
do you like in a race like last night? The one thing I wanted to ask you is like with all the cautions, with everybody spinning out, does it make you kind of dial in a little bit deeper? You know what I mean? Because you don't know when you start seeing it. You said it was uncharacteristic. When you start seeing people kind of peeling out left and right, it's like a Mario Kart race, basically.
Yeah.
Does that make you dial in a little deeper?
Well, there's I put a post on Facebook. I'm not gonna lie. There in the beginning, I was like, yeah, 8th place. That's about what I am. I mean, I'm about 7th, 8th place. Then somehow, whenever green flag, I'm like, yeah, we're not 8th place. Let's go. And them Sucons, they got something out for me. Taylor was back, and every time they spin out and they make a hard left towards the infield, they there's that green, there's that 43 car. I'm coming for them. I got to avoid these folks. I love them to death, but man, they're always aiming for me whenever they make an unexpected left turn.
We have a question coming from Nick Grove. Says, what flavor pie did the Bandit steal last night?
I didn't steal one. I bought one. That was that was that special engine Nick put in off of eBay.
I love it. No Huckleberry pie
I
last
didn't
night?
have to steal last night. I earned that one. That one was a couple people spun out, but it wasn't like second place because in turn 4 they all went for it, and I just snuck underneath everybody. No, I like an idiot. We had a green-white, checkered, and on the restart, I decided to go from first to neutral at the flag stand. I made that cool veteran mistake right there. So I went from 3rd to 4th, and I had to get it back in one lap, and luckily I was able to do that.
We have a chime in from Taylor as well. Says, sorry, thanks for not hitting me. I wasn't used to the pink car's power. LOL.
Yeah, he was driving. He was driving Jen's car because he rolled his car, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
So he was driving Jen's car. Yeah, I'm not used to seeing that pink car so out of control. You might want to learn something from Jen Taylor.
Well, we have a special guest. Do you want to do the intro for this, Corey, and say why the Rocket Man is sitting next to you, the Boomhauer Bandit?
Well, I wasn't there. I just watched the video and laughed a few times because at least he was
Everybody
okay.
has.
At least he was okay. But yeah, we didn't know him as the Rocket Man until a few weeks ago when he decided to come out of turn 2 and just let her sail. That's what it seemed like. I'm gonna let him tell that story, but it was quite entertaining. And he earned that nickname, I guess.
I guess that's what everybody's calling me nowadays.
But,
so Darryll Hoon Jr., guys are friends, obviously, family on the track. Darryll, welcome into the In the Driver's Seat segment here on YSN. Talk about your first off, let's talk about where you're from, kind of where you grew into racing.
So it was a Saturday night, nothing going on. My buddy messaged me and was like, hey, what are you doing? Said nothing. So he sponsored a car. So we went actually out to Mercer and watched the races. I grew up around racing at Sharon Speedway. And I was like, oh, I'd love to race, but it's too expensive. Well, here I am in my 20s and decent job. And we got to talking to these sponsors. And I was like, oh, that's not as much as I thought. So we started looking for cars. And a couple months later, I bought a guy out, had 3 cars, and I put one together, and that's kind of what got me into it. And
have you always been a race fan?
Always. Yep.
Always. Who did you grow up watching?
Jeff Gordon. That was the guy to watch back when I was younger. That
explains a lot.
Yeah, right.
You seem like a rainbow guy.
Boy, here we go. All right, we have Michael Keefe saying it's my hero, the Rocket Man.
Yeah, that's everybody seems to be calling me that.
How do you? I mean, when you first got deemed the Rocket Man, I mean, we told a little bit of the story. Is that something that like makes you puff your chest out, or is that like, oh boy,
that makes me hang my head? It's like I went off the track. Yeah.
But it was awesome.
I mean, yeah, the car was all right, but it's like
that's all bad.
I was moving up through the pack, and there was less than adequate lighting on the backstretch, and I was guessing where I was at, and we went off the track.
The outside line is a fickle mistress. You know?
Yeah.
Either there's a wall there and you might eat it, or there's no wall.
There's no
and
wall.
You get the Rocket Man nickname.
Yeah.
You got two options.
So I mean, so we went to Blanket Hill a couple weeks ago. This is where the whole story started. For the Stuyvesant Memorial Race, and we had, I think, 27, 28 cars come out. And so I made the show, qualified in the heat race, and went out, started 12th or 13th in the heat, or in the feature, and I got sandwiched between two cars, so I locked it up, spun out in like the third lap. That's pretty typical for me. And I was like, I'm not going to destroy anybody's car or my car. So I went to the back, and I think it was 21st place at that point, and made it up to 8th or 9th. And I was following Doug Stanley, and I was on the high side. I was running the high side, but there you have to kind of guess where the high side is on the backstretch. And I guessed for about, 8 to 10 laps right. And then that next lap, I guessed wrong. And we went for a little ride off the backstretch. And
now, when that thing's in the air, is that like something you can feel like for sure? Like because I'd probably still have it like matted down. Like, oh, I'm not on the, like, that would be the only thing that would tell me I wasn't on the track. I'd be like, man, this thing's really winding up quick. Like,
it happened so fast. It's like, well, there's a couple of times where the right side of the car went off the track, but you get right back on, and that time there was no coming back on.
Well, I was going to say, I saw you up a couple of times on two wheels last night coming around that turn that Zach was shooting down.
That's normal stuff. Like,
that's
that
wild.
Front left tire comes up. Because these things are designed to roll. Everything I've talked about it for. You want everything to roll onto that right rear tire.
Yep.
But you can't feel it. Or can you?
You don't.
You can feel it in my car.
It's not as extreme. In my car, I don't even know. Like, unless I see the pictures, like, I can kind of tell. Like, I can kind of feel, like, dip back like a little bit. But it's nothing, like, extreme. His car probably, I'm only picking that wheel up 4 inches maybe. Some of these guys are getting like a foot. It looks like a foot.
Yeah, my car's, the way it's set up right now, we're picking that front left up pretty good.
Yeah, it's just how they're made. All the weight transfers over to that side.
Wow. It was wild to watch, because I'm sitting there like, somebody's going to roll right in front of that cage that Zach was sitting in front. And you see it, on the low lights on ESPN all the time is one of those cars go flying into the stands, and you see tires everywhere, and like it was a little nerve-wracking to watch. I'm not gonna lie to you.
A quarter-mile track, hopefully. Well, them 270s, it's like
they fly.
It's like they're on springs when they wreck. They just like whew.
That's when I rolled out in India. It was very graceful. It wasn't nothing crazy. No wheels flying in the air.
Yeah. Some of them, these mod lights and dwarf cars. Well, some people have stories of doing quite a few rolls down the backstretch. And I guess it all depends on where you roll it at.
Who's with you?
Yeah.
We're here with Darryll Hoon Jr., a.k.a. the Rocket Man, originally from Canfield, right?
Yep.
So talk to me about, not necessarily a racing town, so to speak, for Canfield. Talk to me about kind of standing out where you're at in Cardinal Town.
So I grew up in Canfield, and football was life there. You know, that's what it was all day, every day, 365 days a year was football.
They got wrestling.
What's that?
So they like wrestling there too.
Well, they like a little bit.
I'm a wrestling guy.
Just a little bit.
Nowadays their wrestling program's excellent.
Nowadays it's everything. Canfield does everything well. It's crazy. And now you throw an alum, Canfield High School, correct?
Yep.
So you throw an alum into racing now, and you've kind of taken that bull by the horns. What is it like? Do you feel like you carry the entire community on your back with the racing?
Not so much with the racing. I mean, it was more so with the football. I mean, racing, you got everybody coming from everywhere to come watch, and football, you're talking the whole community coming, for one cause. It's your team effort there. When you're on the track, obviously, we're not going to try to put teammates in the wall. Like if we me and Claire race together, we're not going to try to. Well, I might try to put them in the wall, depends if they pass me, but no, it's football. You definitely have the whole community that comes together. But racing is, comes from everywhere.
Now, obviously, the Battle of 224, the biggest rivalry that you've sustained from a football standpoint. What's the biggest rivalry you have right now from a racing standpoint?
Oh, probably Dave Ennis. He's the one to beat right now. I mean, he's fast, and he's fast everywhere he goes. I mean,
he came back to my trailer yesterday and wanted speed tips. I said, I got a tip for you. Go to somebody else because I'm not that fast. Dude.
I did beat him in the heat race. So.
I go, you're lost. He's like, I'm back here looking for speed tips. I go, well, you come to the wrong joint, dude.
Yeah, it's, he's definitely the one to beat at Goods, and I need to figure that track out. We're fast when we go to other tracks, but for some reason that's my nemesis right now, and it shouldn't be. It's the home track.
We talk about Goods, it seems like every week, about the family that's created there, and everybody that is there is in it for each other, but they also very competitive. They want to win. What is it, Darryll, that makes Goods so special to you?
I think you hit it right on the head right there. It's a family. I pulled off the track yesterday. We got a little tangled up, and in the feature, pulled off the track, and there was people coming from everywhere running in my car. Like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Like people grabbing jacks. Like, there's nothing wrong with the tire. I'm good. My exhaust was bent in my seat. I thought my car was on fire, and everybody running to my car. And, it happened last week as well with another class. I mean, there was jacks and tires flying, and I mean, you work together to get cars back out on the track. I mean, that's what makes it competitive for everybody, and get the fans. If you see a car come off the track and then come right back on the track, ready to go. I mean, the fans love that too. So, what's
your favorite part of racing? Like, bar none, the thing that gets you back in the driver's seat each and every week?
I think it's the competitiveness, but also when you strap in that seat, everything just goes away. I mean, I couldn't it's a whole nother world out there. It's, I don't even remember racing. Like, if I don't run GoPros or Zach doesn't video, I'm like, oh, that happened. The only things that I really remember is, number one, if I win, or number if I finish last, or if
sailed it off the track.
Yeah, but even still, like that, I didn't even remember what happened. I just remember, yep, I went off the track.
I can give you a recap that night, but like the next day after I go to sleep, it's like, I think this happened. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just a different world out there. I mean, everything goes away, and
it's your release from all your problems.
Yeah,
he's like whatever you were worrying about. Like, that don't mean nothing for 15, 20 minutes.
Yep.
It's your show, man. Do you got any questions for Rocket Man?
I ain't smart enough to come up with questions. But we got that family thing out there. I just get to be everybody's like dipshit inbred cousin. Like, like there he is. He's over there.
When I first saw, I was like, "Who's that guy?"
The story of like him first meeting me. Like, so Teddy Williams comes back. I was asking him something about like somebody told me this brought a new word into my life called stagger. I was like,
right.
I was like, what is that? He's like, then he started explaining it to me. So he's like, well, I'll go get my buddy. He's got a stagger tape. So he probably went to you and was like, hey, you got.
Oh yeah, Teddy doesn't have anything. So
he's like, you gotta come check this moron out in the back. Like, this dude is the reason why they shouldn't give hillbillies money. They bought a race car, right? Like, you got to come see this. That's probably how it happened. Oh, yeah, bring your stagger tape so we're not just laughing at this idiot. We got to act like we came back here.
I remember that. And then we drove up, probably pulled up in the golf cart.
You're like, you got a jack? I was like, nah, don't have one. You're like, you got a stagger tape? I was like, nah, don't know what that is. You got anything? Nah, I just show up.
Here to drive. I got
Sometimes I don't even have a damn steering wheel. Like, we talked about that. Like, that was like the first time we met. It was like, Teddy was like, I'll go get my buddy. he's got some stuff, and he's got to see this shit. Probably is what he said. Like he's got to see this. This is wild stuff going on in the back. Because he probably asked me, why you parked way back here? I go, I'm just trying to get used to being behind everybody, so I park way in the back. That way I know what the view looks like. Well, they were asking me, they're like, you ever see the back of Hoon's car? He got that thick racing sticker. I was like, we ain't never raced, so I ain't never seen the back of his car. I go, when we get on a track same time, I'll know what it looks like. But until then, I don't know anybody's car what the back of it looks like till I'm out on the track with them.
Then you know everybody.
Yeah, then I get a face full
last
of it.
night.
I get a face full for a couple laps till I decided to make it around there. That heat race was, I walked away on that one. It was pretty good.
Yeah, you felt good about it?
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like half a lap ahead of everybody.
Were you really?
It was good. I was just letting her eat. I didn't know until Jim was like tipping his cap to me. He's like, you learned how to drive it, didn't you? I was like, I guess, maybe.
So is racing a superstitious sport? Like will you do everything that you did yesterday next week to try to...
Ain't that good, dude. Like, somebody might, but I can remember.
Times where I think about it, it's like, there was the shirt that I wanted last year, and I put it on like a couple weeks ago, and we did well, and I'm like, maybe I should wear that again.
I mean, if I try to like do the track's not going to be the same. So I'll try to do the same thing. I end up just screwing the pooch on that one. It'll be like, oh yeah, this worked last week. Like, well, it's a little drier this week.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Darryll, if you're giving advice for, first-time racers, guys that are trying to earn their stripes in racing, if they say, hey, do you have any tips for me? What tips are you giving them early and often?
Jeez, I'm still a rookie myself. So
I think you just started last year.
Last year, yeah.
But when me and Nick talked about him, he will have car will travel.
Right.
Is like what he.
It's get seat time. Seat time's that's everything, and how
many different tracks you raced at so far?
A lot.
Yeah, I was like, he will travel around.
My first race, we loaded up and hit South Carolina. Yeah. My first race ever last year. We loaded up and we're like,
you just want to get a practice in before you came out the goods.
Yeah, he was
unbelievable.
So let's travel 13 hours down south.
It was like 10. Yeah, me and Teddy loaded up on Saturday morning, raced Saturday night, and came home Sunday morning. I mean, it was kind of dumb, but it was my first race ever, ever in a car. So and we went out and finished like 9th or something. I was like, oh, maybe we're not too bad at this. And I come up here and I suck.
In Flatland hillbillies like myself, we're not used to that stuff.
So when it comes down, not to cut you off, but if you've raced all these tracks, which one's your favorite so far?
Oh, my wife will tell you that Clarksville is my favorite, even though I haven't raced there. She loves that place, and she hates it that I can't, that we haven't raced there yet. But my favorite, I don't know. Anytime I get in the seat, it's a good time. I like some banking, so probably say Thunder Hill. If I had the new motor and the car for Thunder Hill last year, I think that would have been a lot of fun. It's down in Tennessee,
we all love goods.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good track, and
it's close. It's 5 minutes from the house.
You can't beat the people there.
No,
you can't beat the owners.
Nope.
They got top-notch owners there. It's a good track. I've only gone 2 different tracks. I'm not the journeyman traveler because I don't feel like embarrassing my family.
Is there a surname you can go under or alter ego?
Mike Honcho. We used to do I did open wrestling tournaments as the Green Bastard. Maybe we could do that again.
From Trailer Park Boys.
We'll just put somebody's.
Yeah. I did put parts unknown too. It's like
just put somebody's name that's fast and be like, oh, he showed up.
Kyle Larson.
Man, yeah, right.
It's funny. All right, so with in honor of the Olympics, guys, I asked my wife this question last night. Not necessarily a racing question, but would you like to see racing be part of the Olympics, going up against different? If you could go dirt track against different countries, how cool would that be to represent our country?
I wouldn't be there, so I don't know.
You'd have to qualify for that? I ain't got damn chance.
I don't know. I think that'd be different. I know Australia, they race our cars. They race Mod Lights. So, and I know our chassis builder, Jeff Teeters, he's raced over in Australia, which is pretty cool. And my wife, she always wants to go to Australia. She's like, "When are we going to Australia?" I said,
I'd like to hear somebody say, "Crikey, that guy sucks."
Right.
Crikey, that bandit, he blows donkeys. Look at him.
Crikey, we're racing the bandit today.
Yeah. Holy crap. This cowboy from up in the States come down here and sucked it.
The rocket in the bandit.
No, I think that'd be interesting. And hopefully, I think we'd be victorious, obviously.
Yeah, that's kind of, it depends. Like, if you did some road courses, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, we just go in circles.
Yeah, other countries driving like them champ cars and stuff. They're like,
they don't
you guys ever turn right? You
if we're not turning left, we're not good.
I mean, we've got a few guys that would be proficient in that. Again, it goes to them guys that are good at everything, like Larsons and Stewarts and Gordons. Them guys were just good at road courses, and those were dirt track guys.
Out of everybody at Goods, who would you want representing America in one race on the dirt track?
Cool. Wow. Egan.
He's
young.
He's won.
He's young, and it's fast, of course.
Doug Stanley.
Well, let me ask you this: who could fill up the what is it? The pedal or the pedestal? You know what I'm talking about? The podium. There, yeah, thank you.
Man, you just
put all the classes together and
Trevor, if he
you got to pick.
He drove your car.
He drove my car.
So, I mean, how's he? I've never watched it.
Not as good as me, but
nobody drives it.
Yeah, right.
Man, I mean, I told. It'd be hard not to for me to nominate Chase on that. Like I said, I told these guys last night, I go, hey, I'm just trying to keep up with you guys. You got all kinds of talent and no fear. I'm old. I got all the fear and no talent. I got
to go to work tomorrow.
I'm just, I can't.
I don't know. That top three.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's tough.
That and next Saturday. You didn't say my name.
Yeah, right.
Might catch a pipe
talk about that.
To the
talk
side
about
of
that fear. Talk about that fear.
Yeah, somebody might come at me like.
We'll put the junior sprint names in there. There you go.
You got Ryan. He's got all kinds of talent. And then, I mean, Cody Stillion. I like that kid. He's aggressive. I've had some people.
Charlie Biscuit.
Yeah, I've had some people be like, that Stillion kid's awfully aggressive. Like, yeah, before you say anything bad, I love the kid. Okay? I know he's aggressive as all heck. He's going for it.
He's going for it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's got all the talent and zero. I mean, if there's a picture of zero fear, it'd probably be that kid. He's just like, nah, let's go.
Yep.
I can get the next spot. I'm getting the next spot. Like, it'd be tough to make a top three.
We have a minute and a half left. Darryll, before we let you go, talk about your sponsors. How if somebody wants to sponsor, they can get a hold of you and support you.
So my car's kind of filled up right now, but there's always room. I got CO Builders, all types of construction work. I got Morgan Site Services, which is the company that I kind of run. JW Custom Leatherworks. He's out of Wadsworth area. All kinds of dog collars and custom holsters, anything leather, handmade stuff. Excellent product. We got Tire Bloomers, Charlotte Brandon out of Tennessee, Jody Brandon as well out of Tennessee. Charlotte does the tire bloomers, the tire covers, and then Jody does suspension work, rebuild shocks and all that. Leader chassis. Jeff's a great guy, and he's helped me out tremendously with my car. Who else we got on there?
I got one.
I think that's about it.
We're talking to him.
Yeah. We're open for sponsors for next year, though. I mean,
so how do people get a hold of you? I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean,
Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook's probably the go-to. We need a motor rebuilt, so so I don't know how our season might be done for a little bit. Well, we'll see though.
Nah, finances can be found.
Yeah, right.
you don't have any crazy stories like Nick buying a race car with student loan or no?
Yeah,
it was
scholarship. Yeah,
nothing that's going to blow my mind that I didn't even think you could possibly do, like buy a race car with scholarship. Like,
the new car I bought. So I didn't even race the other car that I put together, and I sold it and bought this car. Jeff was like, "Here, take this one out." When I had the other one at practice, and I sucked in, and then he put me in that car. It was actually Jody Brandon's car in Tennessee, and it never went back to Jody. Jody sold it to me.
Wow.
I mean, it was. I was like, "Oh, that's what a race car's supposed to feel like."
Corey put a bow tie on this one. People want to get out and watch your race. It was a good one last night. Where we got to go? Where we got to be?
It may never happen again. So, you got to go to Goods Raceway off 224 in Deerfield. If you're headed west, it's 1/4 mile before the circle,
About
ish. And
$10 ticket.
$10 for adults to get in. Kids like 12 to 17 is like, I think it's pretty, like 12 and under is free. So if you got little kids, man, you can
bring them out.
You can come out for real cheap. We got good food concessions and stuff.
Coming to the pits, I'm like the first trailer, obviously, and then Corey's the other end of the spectrum.
You gotta walk all the way back. I make them earn their fanship for me. You gotta walk a mile.
Yep.
I'm just trying to get used to seeing back everybody's car. That's all.
And I hear that you might have some signs that you're going to be autographing. Did I see that right on Facebook? You're trying to get it?
I got like Hoon had some. I just went to CVS in the morning. I didn't have like fancy pictures printed out of my car. I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. Should have done that last week. Instead, I'm ordering online at CVS, and I got 50 of them, and I got none. I got none left. I was like, cool. Hey, these things went a little better than I thought.
There you go. See, the Boomhauer Bandit. Not only are you a local celebrity on Sunday mornings.
And part of that was Zach. Zach's like sitting on the tire of my car. He's like, come meet the legend, the bandit. I'm like, I got a Carney guy out here. Like,
did we just nickname you the Boomhauer? The Boomhauer?
The Boomhauer Bandit?
No.
Oh, that's been a thing?
I threw that out there, like, because I was like, you can put anything in front of Bandit. And I'm like, this could get real bad. Like, I got older brothers, and I know how that can be, like the butt bandit or something like that. You know, like, I'm like, it's like, I'm just going to throw out Boomhauer to distract everybody from all.
Well, it was Mushmouth that it was Boomhauer.
Yeah, I was like, you could put damn near anything in front of Bandit.
I'm starting to think it's the Boomerang Bandit because you start 9th and you go to 2nd. You know, that's pretty impressive.
With one more lap, I'd have went back to 9th. The real boomerang type deal.
That's going to do it for our show today. We appreciate you checking in on this edition of In the Driver's Seat. As always, we want to thank our special guest, Mr. Darryll Hoon Jr., a.k.a. the Rocket Man, and the legend that is the Boomhauer Bandit, the mister of the 43 car himself. It is Corey Renforth. Gentlemen, we'll see you next time. Best of luck on the track.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.